Good morning, my friends. Hope you guys are doing well wherever you are at. I'm doing great. I was going to make this video yesterday, but for some reason I was not able to. So here I am. So thank you for watching in advance. Today, I want to talk to you about the cliche we hear. And it's not only a cliche, but it's also in the scriptures. The love of money is root of all evil. And although there is some weight to that, I really want to explain my thoughts on this. And I feel personally that this has been misrepresented by the religious organizations and by the world. I don't think love of money is really the root of all evil, because right now I here have $100 bill, US $100 bill, and a toilet paper. Now, these both are papers and they all come from the tree, right? Now, this one holds a lot of value as transactional. This doesn't hold much. But just like a couple of years ago, this was like gold. I don't know if you remember the pandemic time, toilet paper was like gold. People were hoarding it. And that's where my point is coming to. The love of money is not actually the root of evil. It's the person who has the greed in it is the root of all evil, because the greed causes you to do different things with the things you hold. Say, for instance, if my money, I have this $100 bill I have, and I have this bill, and I say, I'm going to keep this, and I see a person down the street who has no food, no clothing, nothing. He's or she is, in dire straits. Guess what? This is actually going to change their life for a little bit. It's going to buy them food. It's what they need, like shoes or whatever clothes they need. This is going to supply it. Now, me as a person say, well, I don't care about their needs or what. And I have this $100 bill and I choose not to give them or help them with this, then I have taken more love for this than to help my fellow man or fellow woman. So I personally find that this is just as transactional value. It is nothing. It's just a paper, just as this. Although this goes into our wallet, into our safes, if we just used a little bit of common sense and just think about it for a second, when we talk about rich people being bad, that they are rich and so forth, but we are, as people who don't have money, are looking to them to help us give a job, to help us provide our needs. Even the preachers, pastors, and I'm not going to take any names, but televangelists, okay? Charity organizations. What are they doing? They're asking rich people to donate money. But they call these rich people evil. Same people. So I find that we are hypocrites on saying people who love money are evil. That's not the truth. People who don't want to help others with their resources are evil. I won't even call them evil because that's just their choice. There's another scripture that says it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of the needle rather than a rich person. And people use that scripture a lot. Whenever they see somebody, being well off or they're doing better in life, they try to do that because they don't have it. So they're going to use this scripture to make them feel better or to put that person down. I personally say when Jesus spoke that way, he was not talking about it. It was his heart. His heart was holding on to that $100 bill. I mean, in those days, it was gold and silver, land, and different things. But today's world, this money is what is a transactional. Just because you love bread so much, you're not an evil person. Because you would spend, say, $50 just to buy a special bread, almond bread these days. I won't say it's $50, but it's close to $35. Almond bread. Now, if you love bread so much, you are gonna definitely pay that kind of price because you can afford it. Now, somebody who can't afford it, they buy a $3 bread, and because they love bread too. Now, you both love, these two people, they love bread. Just because they love bread, they're not evil. Because for that bread, they will work 6 hours more to get that bread. People work extra 6 hours to get this, just to get this. So, does that make them bad? No, they want to live a good life. They want, because it's all transactional. And our love sometimes is transactional because we give and take. It's a relationship. Now, somebody who doesn't want to give anything, they are always hoarding or holding on to whatever they have. And that could be a loaf of bread because they love it so much, they will not share it with their neighbor. And personally, I feel if my friend has more money than me, I am happy for him. But that's just my attitude. I won't say he's rich and he should be doing this for me, he's evil. No. How he treats people. Now, if he treats me horribly, and when he's so rich and he would not even buy me a cup of coffee, still, no big deal, because that shows his heart or her heart that she can't even afford to give me a cup of coffee. Not because she doesn't have the money, it's because she is hoarding onto it. She's greedy, stingy. There are a lot of people who are poor and are stingy, and what is that? They have the love of whatever they have. So they basically say, I can't have for my own self. Why should I give it to that person? I don't have enough for myself. So those people are evil too, you see, because you're holding on to something that you find it dear, you know? And I will tell you this from experiences. I have met people who are very poor, and they have given me their last chicken. They've cut it up and cooked for meal because they thought I was more valuable than their chicken. I'm making a point about how people's mentality is. If you think you don't have enough and you hold on to and hoard to what you want, and you're holding on to that last loaf of bread and say, I am not going to share it with my neighbor. I know they don't have it either, but I got to see for myself. You are equally to that person who has a lot of money and doesn't want to give. Because whatever we hold dear to is the love of that thing. So that's why I personally feel the value of $100 bill is nothing. It's your heart. How are you feeling about it? How are you able to whether to give or not? Now, I'm not talking about somebody who blows money or are misusing their funds and you don't want to give to them. That's okay, because you're looking at the value of that person, how they're going to use that money. But you know somebody who is genuinely in need of that money, you got to give it to them, right? I mean, that's the decent human thing to do. Help people live in a better house. You see, there are a lot of billionaires out there who do charity work. But when we look at them like, oh, he's got it all or she's got it all and she ain't going to give anything. No, we don't know what they're doing. Now, if they're genuinely not giving, that's between them and God. We are not here to judge, and I think I made a video on the judging part. We have to really understand and come down to the basics of why do we use that cliche or the scripture. The love of money is root of all evil. There is a love of money can also be doing great things, because if you go into it's in Timothy, if you go into the following chapter, it talks about the rich people, how to give the instructions to the rich people on what they should do with their money. So scripture talks about that and this, but a lot of the preachers will not talk about how the rich should do their things with their money. So they are focusing so much on poverty and so much of what's bad. Well, they're doing evil thing, or they're using this for drugs, or they're using for this alcohol, or whatever it is. To each his own. But the fact is, this is truly not evil. It's our heart, our thoughts that are evil, that carry evil purposes. And when we do those things, that's when we create problems. Any politician, any boss or whatever, he uses your labor to make a lot of money, but he doesn't give you the amount of wages you're worthy of. That is greed, and that is bad, and that is love of money, to the point that you will make the person work to death so you can make a buck. That is wrong. But nobody talks about that. We ourselves do that. Try to, get max out of somebody and then give them very little. And that is because the greed inside us. What can I get a lot for less? I feel fair deal is fair deal. If there was a barter system, a farmer could say, look, I am growing fruits and vegetables and grains, and an oil guy says, my field is only producing oil, so let's do exchange. You give me all the fruits, vegetables, grains that you grow, and I'll give you oil for your tractor so you can plow, you can do things, right? There is an even exchange. So they are helping each other grow. So he can go sell his produce in the market who have money to buy. They all work together. So the fact is, when we care for one another, we are able to go further in life. So if we can just take a step back and say, that scripture is misrepresented, we will have a better attitude towards money. This is nothing. It's a heart, our attitude towards one another, how we treat one another. This toilet paper, in pandemic time, this was like gold. People were hoarding toilet paper because why? They said, I am not gonna get any more, so I'm gonna keep it all. And there were some people who had a lot of money, but they couldn't find this. They couldn't have it. Some of them, I heard stories, I don't know if it's true, they would sell this online and make money. So that's a business, fine. But I'm seeing the mind of a human that purposefully wants to take advantage of somebody and hurt somebody and then make their wealth. I think that's wrong. That's why when we give value to anything, any product out there, that becomes the love life of it. So, and not even that, it's when we don't want to share with others, when we want to hold on to it. I remember, this was in the 70s, but I read about it later. There was this guy called Rajneesh, a Hindu Pandit. He was somebody he had an ashram. He would tell people to go and be a paupers, go give up everything you have. You don't need all these things. These are materialistic, worldly things. But you know what he had? He had 75 Rolls Royce himself, because he was a guru and he was the preacher. Today, a lot of preachers, they drive a Bentley. Nothing wrong with that. I want them to, because I feel like you should enjoy. But if you're conning people and telling people they should not love money, they should not do this, and then you drive a Bentley, then that's a hypocrisy. That's a hypocrisy. Today, we struggle because we tend to take advantage of others. And I will tell you, what you sow is what you reap. I know people, I know some family members who don't, they say flat out, say, oh, I don't want money. I don't love money. That's a lie, because tomorrow you can't carry your phone if you don't pay your phone bill. You can't do that. You need money to meet your needs, because that's what we live. We live in a transactional world. And so I want to really bring balance to this. Let's not take the scriptures or take this cliche in a wrong way, because it does have its value in it. It's got the weight in it that it is true, but it's not the piece of paper. It's our heart. It's a mindset. And that's what is root of all evil, not the paper. I feel let's value people and not give into calling people, rich people, you guys are evil because you're rich. No, not everybody who is rich is evil. They do things what they choose to, because that's who they are as people. They just use this as a tool. So give love of money value of what good it can do for you, what it can do good for others. And that's what is the true picture of money is your heart is generous, kind, and caring. And everything else is nothing but materialistic thing. It's you as a living being who can do great things with that money or whatever things you hold on to. Everything has its purpose. With this, I'll end the video. It's gone long, but it was a lot to be said, so everyone can understand. You may disagree with me, you may challenge me, and that will be great. If you want to, please put that in the comments, and I would love to hear from you. What are your thoughts about these cliches? What about the scripture is? If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share, and understand this, that love of anything, it's what you value it and how you treat it. So love of money is not necessarily root of all evil. It's your heart that can decide whether you want to be evil with it or you want to be good with it. You make that choice and you make that decision. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later.